Guys, T-Fit here with FitBully TV. We've got Tyler and Forrest, and we're gonna learn something new today. So I reached out to Tyler. I said, hey man, I got to meet you at the, what was this guys?
AAC podcast, Poker Night.
Poker Night, it was Poker Night. I know those guys, Jared and them, I know them. But I was like, man, this seems like a nice guy, man. Followed him, saw what he was doing. And I'm not like a gun guy. I got guns. We in Texas. But you say, man, I got this gun. It's in a box. It's in a little blue container. And you say, hopefully I never have to use it. But what if you had to keep your house safe? What would you do? Well, they have a business called
Checkmate Training Group.
Checkmate Training Group. I don't know if you play chess, but I do. I do know how to play some chess. So imagine someone come in your house thinking they have a leg up. Well, you in my home, so it should be checkmate if you step into my door. Well, they have a system of education that allows people to maneuver in case of emergency. And even what they talked about off camera, we were in Texas and that Allen shooting was pretty scary. I've been out there to get me some Crocs into the H&M and to think that I could be there one day and somebody started opening up fire. That ain't a good feeling. And there were people that you guys were made aware of that had guns and didn't do anything because number one priority a lot of times is keep your family safe. Now, I don't know anything, and that's why we're here, because I get to learn exactly how all this works. So go ahead and walk them through how this works, man.
Absolutely. So we're going to be going over a few different scenarios today. We're going to go through a corner fed room. So see here, it's feeding in from the corner, how to properly scan it from the outside before you actually expose yourself into this room. What we would do for a center fed room, and then we have a nice tricky four-way hallway, right? If you're ever on your own having to deal with any of these situations, it's a bad day. In my military experience, we were always operating in teams or squads, but we wanted to cater to your everyday American. Maybe a school has a threat, you're the first law enforcement officer to arrive. You have to decide, do I wait for backup or do I enter the school and do what I can, right? Maybe you're at the mall with your family. You have to decide, do I focus on getting my family out? Do I put them in a safe place and go after the threat, right? So we want to do engagement and evasion training, and that's going to happen here today.
There you go. Stay tuned, people, because we're going to get zooted and cabooted and go step by step. And again, if ever you thought or been concerned about home invasions, I literally know a woman in Savannah, Georgia, who was robbed and somebody was in her house, and she actually was one of the top taekwondo fighters in the world when she was a kid. So he got in there, but she got active. But the challenge is she has two small sons. They were in there at the time. But her confidence kicked in because of repetition of having to whoop somebody's ass. So and when you put her babies in there, you go, now she didn't convert it over to a whole nother state of Liam Neeson. So they're gonna again walk us through a scenario on how to be safe, how to be mindful in case of emergency, because most people get real frantic and freak out. And I say, calm down. If they shooting, just duck first. But stay tuned.
Today we're going to go in an example of corner fed first. This would be your most simple room to clear. So as you're approaching here, we're going to want to show you how you can get a deep angle into the room, how to move across the threshold, the doorway, which is your fatal funnel. This is the most dangerous area of a door, is all this space. So you want to clear here, confirm, is this a corner fed, is this a center fed? You'll see it is a corner fed. So now you've got eyes on everything right here, right, before you've gone through. So now you want to give all of your focus as you're making it through that threshold to this dead space where the threat could be. You want to get out of that fatal zone in case another threat maybe heard you walking through and is coming around a building. Clear here, decide if there's any dead space, maybe furniture could be blocking some zones, right? Clear the room, and then decide, if the threat wasn't here, what's my next move, right? So we'll do that. We'll move over to center fed. You'd be approaching here, same thing. You'll go near to threat. You'll push against this wall. It'll allow a deeper angle here. Again, moving across here, panning across, picking up the newest data as you move. So now you've seen here and here. And then you can decide at that point, do I want to flow across and go this way, or do I want to button hook and go this way? And that will usually be situation dictates based on what information you picked up outside of the room. Is this a more threatening space? Is there more dead space where maybe an enemy could be hiding? Or should I give this my main focus? Because again, by yourself, there's gonna be a lot of 50-50 scenarios where you have your back exposed. So you're gonna be collecting data the whole way. right? So we'll run some scenarios based on that. And then 4-way, I'm not gonna draw that out for you because it's just gonna look like a bunch of scribbles, but essentially there's a way to cover for yourself and make strategic moves. So we'll get into that. Awesome. Yeah, if you wanna run yours, just check them clear, that's fine.
We'll just put it on camera. Just say,
yeah, so
clear.
Yeah, aim showing that he's gonna clear this weapon. So go ahead.
Clear means what?
Showing that
just
it's
make sure
empty.
there's nothing. There's nothing
so
in
no
it.
clip in there, so nobody shoots
Yeah,
their
yeah.
pinky toe off.
And I can go over like why we're doing pistol and not rifle.
Go ahead.
Get into it.
Yeah,
Right.
you on? It's on.
It's on. It's on. It's been rolling this whole time.
It's rolling, man. Look, Forrest is gonna walk us through.
Tell him we want a mill. We want a mill.
All right, guys. So today we are going to go over what you do with your pistol. Most times you're not walking around with a rifle, it's slung over your bag if you're going through a mall or whatnot. So we're going to go over rifle. We're going to make sure it's clear, just for the camera. It's clear. And Tyler's going to run you through what we are doing, and then I'm going to be there to show you guys, and then we'll have you guys run it.
There you go.
Awesome. So when you enter a building that, so maybe you're at the mall, right? It's not your house, right? You haven't had time to get reps in. Maybe you're at a friend's house, something goes bad. So you need to clear the building, but you don't have a strategy yet. So that's what we're gonna be processing with you today. So let's say Forrest has entered a building, he doesn't know where the threat is. Maybe there's echoing screams, he can't identify, I need to go that specific direction, right? So he's gonna slowly move through the entire building. So you wanna choose clockwise or counterclockwise. The reason you wanna do that is you might get halfway through the building, you think you hear something over here, you commit to going, it ends up being nothing, maybe it was an echo, and now you're trying to go back and you're like, oh, did I clear that already? Or did I not? Do I need to re-clear that? And it's leaving a lot of exposure. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move clockwise through the building. Now, right here, normally people walk in the middle of the hall, right? We don't wanna do that because you're silhouetting your body. So you're gonna wanna you're gonna ride a wall. If he's decided this is the room he's gonna take, he's gonna be near this wall. So we call that near to threat, right? So you're gonna see Forrest walk up and he's actually gonna get close to this wall because it allows him to see deeper into the door he's about to enter, right? So he gets here, he's not gonna get too close because he doesn't wanna expose his muzzle on this threshold. So he's gonna start to change his angles here. He's collecting the newest data on that threshold. So where his eyes are collecting data, his muzzle needs to be oriented there in case there's a threat, right? So now he's confirmed, hey, it's a corner fed room. I've seen a lot of what I need to see. One thing I haven't seen is that deep corner on this side. So now he's gonna make entrance into that room, giving that all of his focus. He's gonna get out of this fatal funnel, which is why you saw him take a couple steps in.
Fatal funnel, so the doorway gets you killed, basically what you said.
Yeah, because if he's in a building, maybe someone hurt him. Maybe he bumped into this, maybe he tripped, maybe he's calling for help. Like, hey, friendly in here, friendly. Is there anyone in the building? And if there's other doors, maybe he has someone on the way, right? So normally if you have a team, they're gonna flow into this room and they're gonna all cover sectors. One of them is gonna cover your back and you're flowing as a team. He's by himself, so he has to pick up his own 360 security. So there's a system for it, so he's not just running in circles, getting his adrenaline dumping. And so when he makes entrance in the room, he's gonna establish his point of domination, a pod, right? So this is where he's ready to fight. If someone pops up, this is his fighting spot. That's where he's gonna scan across the room, take that opportunity to check his back, and then, yeah, that's why we cleared before, right? Yeah, I understand. A lot of people on YouTube are gonna be like, what the F are they doing, right?
Yeah.
That's why we clear it out. We want real training. Yeah. So, scenario based. So he did his pod, point of domination, scan across the room, checked his own back, and then now he can continue through. So he's gonna check dead space here. There could be someone that fits there. Dead space there. You'll see he checks it, gets back on the door. Checks it, gets back on the door. Because there's a higher percentage that someone would walk through that door than just be hanging out tucked behind here, but he still needs to check it. So we call it, give it some love, right? You're on your own, so you're covering all sectors. So give it a little love and get back to the primary threat, which is this door. All right. So we're gonna have you
learn so much, man. I'm watching a bunch of action movies in my head right now.
I'm gonna go to mom. I'm thinking my house and my layout.
You go, man. There's a lot to unpack here, man.
Yeah.
But man,
You're about to run it.
there we go. I'm about to run it. Look.
Hey.
Is there a reason why you don't crouch instead, or does that matter at all? I guess they're gonna shoot you. They're gonna shoot you.
Yeah, you can't move very well crouched.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. Especially if you got
gotta
bad
go
hips.
If you come through that door and somebody does shoot around at you, you want to be able to make sure you can step back.
Boom.
Yeah. Hopefully.
With the pod right here, right? So again, we have the fatal funnel. So you step out of it towards the threat, and then you're doing it. You're getting your point of domination here. The reason you have to establish it shortly after getting in the room is what was happening is you'd have people enter a room and they just kind of keep moving, and they're scanning. Someone pops up, they don't know to run away or what to do. So like you were having people like half committed to taking the room because they didn't establish like, yo, once I get to my second, third step in, this is mine.
Yeah.
Like, this is my room now. I'm fighting here.
Yeah.
Slows down your thoughts too, I'd imagine too. Like you said, I mean that makes sense if you're still walking. Oh, what are we? You get frantic. Now you back out or back here. Now it just gets ugly. I'd imagine knowing where you're at sounds like it's key.
I picture it like a checklist.
Yeah.
As you're moving through, you got your checklist of everything you need to do. It's systematic.
And like you mentioned, right, with the lady that you know and the consistency that she does this, the more you train it, the more it gets dialed in your mind, right? And so you need to be able to establish these certain principles so that you don't even have to think about it. You just do it when you're in the moment.
Yeah. Make it habitual.
Yeah, so this will become a baseline. Obviously, if you enter a building and it's a crazier architectural build, you at least have your baseline.
Yeah.
Then you're cutting half that processing down because you already know what you would normally do, and then you're just basing it off. Okay, well this looks a little different. I think I'll take it this way or that way.
Goodness gracious, man, this is interesting.
Let's get it. Cool.
This is interesting.
There we go.
All right, man, I get the toy gun.
Get the toy gun.
No bullets in here, man. What kind of gun is this?
That's a Glock 17.
There we go, Glock 17. If you right-handed, this how you supposed to hold it?
Yeah, so let's see.
Close.
We'll do, so you'll go right hand here, straighten off the trigger, then you'll take your left hand, lay it like this, and then your other pointer finger is gonna be hanging out like right here, right?
Yeah.
And then this thumb and this finger here, and then you're actually kind of pulling downward with your pinky and ring finger and into you, and then as you fire, that'll help the muzzle rise from it'll help it from rising too much, so it'll keep it more flat when you shoot.
Who even knew this is like holding a golf club?
That's right.
Yeah, it is a lot like it's very very similar to holding a golf club.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, so the webbing of your fingers should match your fingers.
In the movies, you'll see a lot of this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm seeing
under?
it, man. I'm seeing it. Look,
So funny.
I watch a lot of action movies.
Good. You're gonna pick a lot of this up quick.
So when I'm seeing, I'm saying all this stuff is starting to like register. Even that one, what's that woman, Justin Timberlake, that just was on whatchamacallit?
Which one?
Like the gator or alligator or something,
I know
or
what
a
you're
crocodile or
talking
something.
about. Yeah, no, I know.
And he was a crook.
Yeah.
So look, I'm here, and you're not
Reptile.
supposed to reptile.
Yep.
You're not supposed to say nothing, right?
So it's
Somebody's in your
situational.
house and you just
It's situational, right? So like everything is scenario based. So we love having different clients here because they might have family, they might have kids. We sometimes can paint the scenario of like, oh, your kids are here, your wife is in the office, you hear glass break, where are you going? So it's different based on who's in the house.
Yeah.
So if you live by yourself and there's someone in the house, I'm not saying anything. I'm just gonna like do a calm walk through, figure out who's in my house, if they're a threat or not, and go from there. So, but say you're out in public, you hear yelling, you don't know what's going on, maybe you're in a school, you're calling, hey, where are you guys at? Where's everybody at? Because you're hoping maybe a child or another person, a hostage, can guide you.
Yeah.
So it's all situational.
There's already a lot of noise.
If someone's in your house, man, dogs first.
get that gun. Look, the dog's coming.
Follow the screaming.
So you're here and you inch up.
So a lot of this
Walk
is
up.
so. What's gonna be really cool about this is a lot of this is footwork.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I'm
Yeah.
like, is it
So-
here?
So first thing here is you're gonna go near to threat to peek deep into the room.
Yeah.
But don't be on the wall. So like you can if you want to take a peek, but then make sure you get off it because you don't want to. You take up space, man. So give yourself
Shoulders
some
ain't
room.
small.
Right? And then you're just gonna want to just walk,
Okay.
just smooth walk, because you want this to be where you're able to take accurate shots.
That makes sense.
So just smooth walk, and then this is a threshold, right? So if I'm in that corner, just something to be mindful of. You don't want to expose muzzle. So yeah, you'd be right about there. And then this is when you would actually start to, like a three-pointer line, you actually start to, right? And then you've seen, hey, it's just a corner fed.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get any new information by continuing this walk.
I think you wrote on the board that he was a circle thing. No more information. That makes sense.
So now you're done collecting data from here. So now you need to make entry. So as you're making entry, your main threat is here because you haven't seen it. So you want your muzzle and your eyes there on the way in. So sometimes it helps if you just take a big step in, especially since you're bigger.
Yeah.
You kind of want to go in sideways, right?
Look, I'd be the one trying to protect the family. They start shooting me up. I got stuck in the damn door.
Yes, you'll take a big step in, and it'll kind of swing you in there, so that you can get your eyes on it and walk in.
So don't run in. Don't run in immediately, but basically.
And then yeah, just flow. Yeah.
And then
That's your point of domination there. So you'll keep the weapon up as you scan across, check your own back. Cool, and then now focus on any area that you haven't been able to check the box that there's not a person, right?
you look here. I see it. Look, I'm in a movie. I see him right now.
Yep. And then, so this is that. What you did is that's very natural for people to do. It's a rangeism, right? On the range, gun up or gun down.
Yeah.
If you're around people, gun up or gun down. It's a very important thing, right? In this scenario, you're by yourself, right? And anyone out there could or couldn't be a threat, which is why reps are so important, because you might be dealing with people that run in front of your muzzle that you don't want to engage. You've ever seen police with a weapon out?
Yeah.
They might be pointing at someone, but they're still trying to figure out if it's a threat or not. Crappy situation. So your workspace today is either going to be you out like this for accurate shots, or you in here like this just to take up a little less space. Okay. So as you're going through a threshold, you might come in a little bit just to get through it, and then back out.
I see. So you come. Oh man, there's a lot more doors in here.
Yeah.
You got to keep in mind too, like if you're like this and there's somebody that does walk in front of you that is a threat, you're not hitting them, right? So you can still take a shot from here. You can't take a shot from pointed up, right? It's going to take an extra, point shooting.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Shooting the ceiling, that'll waste time and bullets.
So here we have, like, coming into this room is now center fed, right? So this is going to get, we'll do this part last, right?
Yeah.
So,
This is that 4-way special.
yeah, this is that 4-way. What do you think of this?
I mean, look,
Man.
so far, I love everything that I'm hearing, because I tell people when you go into new businesses, you got new terms.
Yeah.
And these new terms, when I start talking about a dog, you know what the hell I'm talking about. But you guys are talking about the usage of guns, which makes it more sense and more fun. And you go, that's interesting, and it's all new terms.
Yeah.
Every term that you guys, even how holding the gun, I'm like, oh, that's golf. But tee off on them up. You go, I think this is very important in today's society and kind of where we're at in the world. And it's not a matter of, clearly you never want to have to go home and worry about picking up a gun to protect your family or your house. But if you did, this might be one of the best places people can come spend a little time, just learning and practicing, repetition. I like it a lot, man. I like it a lot, and I hope that people learned a lot too, because, look, fuck around and find out. Fuck around and find out. Look, by the time I'm done here, between me and the dogs, boy, it'd be a bad situation with somebody. Have you ever seen The Old Man?
I need some dogs.
Ooh,
That's
Put me on.
man, it's a TV show on Hulu. He's an old, he's an old veteran type dude, and he says, what's going on? And he's got these two Rottweilers, and these people and man, he's active. Old Joker is active, man, but then Rots is active too. Stay tuned, man. We're gonna put your Marcus to face too.
We'll do so different scenarios, right? If you don't know where the threat is, you're still going to stick to your system of clockwise or counterclockwise.
Okay.
And then if you do know which direction you want to go, we'll use this as an example: school, hospital, shopping mall, right? There could be like large hallways, and maybe you want to go that way, but this is a big threat because you can't look both ways, right? You got to pick one. So how do you set it up like chess to where you have a better chance of making it across this danger area, right?
Yeah.
So you'll see Forrest here. We'll do bypass first.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's gonna end up right there. So you'll just flow with him when. Oh yeah, you're good either way. So you'll see him come up this way. What he's doing is he's checking as deep as he can this angle to make sure there's not a threat. Then he's gonna cross.
Oh,
And he's gonna
and
he's gonna check as much as he can this way, right? So he's identifying. Do you have eyes on that? So you can see, like, that's a closed door. And that's a wall. It's kind of 50-50. There could still be someone in either corner. He doesn't know these doors are here because he doesn't have that angle. So he can kind of just pick which one we call it. So he's going to plug one of these. So he's going to move. He decided to cover down on this sector. He gets across, then he rotates and is still able to get his scan across and then focus, pick up, and continue moving the direction he wanted to move. Right? So
what do you do in this case where, he comes, he can't see the door, he sees the door. Does he go address that, or?
Well, it depends, right? Is there, if I already know my direction of travel is this way, that's where I want to go. I hear a threat that way. All I'm doing is making sure there's nothing going on here, right? And it's going to be faster. Everything is going to be a little bit faster when you're trying to move through a threat area.
Say scenario is hospital, right? You're moving through the hospital, lots of doors, lots of hallways, lots of danger areas.
Literally.
Maybe at first you're moving through, you thought you heard something, you're like, what is that? I'm on alert, I'm moving, I don't know which direction I want to go yet. Then maybe I get here and I hear clearly, like, it's that way. I'm switching now. I'm going from a deliberate search, where I'm searching everything, to dynamic. I am moving to a direction. So it's at that point where it's like, I'm by myself. I still need to make sure I don't get hit from not paying attention because I'm just trying to run that way. How do I still cover my own ass while moving with intention that direction? So that's what he's doing here.
And that's kind of why we're sweeping, right? Like we're picking up this data because we picked 50-50. Okay, I want to pick that side. So I'm covering this out. And as I move here, I'm swinging back around so I can catch everything. So now 100% of what was available or what was unavailable on that side is now in my view, and I've checked my back.
That makes sense, but you're also looking for trouble per se. So you're like, and I'm saying that, he's not in here. You don't got to check every room unless that's the order.
Yeah.
But if you hear something, you're like, look, I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
We got to move in the direction.
Well, I mean, hopefully there's no threats.
You think at Columbine there's 2 shooters, right? So like if it's another scenario like that, which, I hope that's not where it goes, but
Of course not.
say one's that way and one was over here. Say it's a robbery. One's taking shots or yelling at people over here. The other one's rummaging through, someone's desk or something like that. So you still just want to make sure you're not leaving anything unchecked.
There you go.
Right?
That's crazy.
All right, man. Let's see, man.
Nice, man.
That's
my point of order. So I'm coming here. I'm like this. So I'm clearing this corner here first. Boom.
And then remember exposure here too, right?
See, already.
So the angles with the flashlights,
So
right?
you
Help
broke
with
the
that.
seal,
Not
man.
here, and I boom.
Yeah, and you're always going to expose a little bit in a scenario like this because you can't get deeper in this wall. But you just want to,
So
limit
here,
that.
and then I come to here, and then I see there's nothing there, and then now I'm moving here just like this to clear that, and then that, and then I'm moving here. Now this is where it gets interesting, though, right? If you were, say this was my point of origin here, this is where I'm like, I'm clear this corner, do my little 3-pointer, boom, 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 and then. Now when I go in here, like, now this is interesting. Yes, now what?
Yeah, and also if this door is actually in play and open.
Yeah, see, that's the other part too.
Yeah.
So this,
a lot of factors, man.
These are a lot of factors.
It's a
Well,
lot
you
of
guys come right here, boom, in the back already, because over here, man. Like, dang.
We oftentimes say to any students we have out here that vary in their background in training is, look guys, we're all going to open up our toolbox today. Is that cool? And we're going to go over a spread of tools that we have and offer. Whatever you like, put it in your tool bag. Whatever you don't like, that's all good. Let's talk about it. We're like, it stays very open dialogue throughout all of our training.
Well, and there's a million different ways to do this.
Yeah.
CQB, and especially like one man CQB. But there's also a lot of different situations too, right? So this situation is going to dictate how you move through the building.
Man, this is, look,
Man.
it's definitely a pleasure, man.
Yeah, seriously, this is. Now I'm overthinking
Oh.
the layout of my house. I'm there already. I'm
We got a
like,
hot chick in here. We got to save her.
Susie always has her shirt off for some reason.
Guy-
Man,
I'm here, baby. I got you.
She's always slutting around.
This one in play, but look.
Oh, there's another one. Dude, want to put
yeah, so you could have got that one
put
too.
16 bullets in my back.
Man.
So walk through the grade and how bad I did, please.
I've got a few things.
Yeah, go ahead.
So just obviously there's a few times that you had exposed yourself, right? And then over there, right after you got done with the 4-way, you're looking in rooms, but your gun's not pointed there, right? So you can't do anything in that scenario. Even if you were to look and see somebody, you're gonna get shot, and then you can't do anything. So those are the main things.
We see that a lot because what happens is you're trying to compromise with the situation, right? You're like, I want to give a little there and a little here, but you can't, right?
Especially not at a 4-way, I presume.
No, definitely not.
Anywhere, really, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
that
yeah.
word compromise is a big word too, because in this case, what they've taught us is to be very decisive about every step and move that you make. And clearly I wasn't, but
That's the
I've been
reps.
killed 3 times. Jumping on that last leg like this here. Help!
Where's my chihuahua? Come save me.
Yeah, Chihuahua, come over,
Come
ankle
over, lick
biter.
my wounds,
Exactly.
man. Tell that good dog, you take it easy. I'm gone.
I'm out of here.
But what else?
Good stuff.
Anything else I was missing, or that I did exactly
So
wrong?
you did flow across,
Yeah.
and that's because we were training flow across
Yeah.
for that scenario. But in this situation, you're going room to room for your Chihuahua Lucy, right?
Ah, that's
So
right.
you want to pick counterclockwise or clockwise, so you have a system. So that's when you did cross. I had the target set where if you had gone the system, you would have checked here and then gone this way, engaged the threat.
I could see
But you
for the
chose-
movie where I could have looked like, oh, somebody's back there, got him.
Yeah.
Tap tap.
That's right.
Yeah.
then they
So I
got
did
you.
set him up where he was in the deep corner. So if you went near the threat, you weren't going to see him. You come in, you see him. Press, 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 press. Then when you go through, you walk. You check you're basically checking your back before you give your back.
Yeah.
Check your back before you give your back. Press, press, press. Would have been the thing.
Man,
So,
dude, and it's crazy
reps.
because now, yeah, exactly, those repetitions, they really make sense because this is not a practice habit, definitely not of mine. But imagine practicing this even in your own home.
Yep.
This is like a fun game to play,
It is. It is.
like paintball at the crib or something. See which one of you jokers can get shot first.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna put your markers to it now, people. Let's see what happens. That was fun, man.
That was a good job.
Appreciate that.
And you were picking up any missteps. Like you're like, oh, okay, here's my exposure here. Mm-hmm. That was solid.
No,
Yeah.
no, hey man.
And we didn't go over closed doors, so you did pretty
That was
well
the other-
considering.
Oh really? Okay, yeah.
That's
the
one thing
other
I was going to mention is like we never went over that with you guys, so
Hey,
So here,
not knowing.
here you opened it partial, collect some information, and then you were like, dang, I'm gonna swing this and be in the fatal funnel. So you,
Yeah.
I saw you collecting that.
Fatal funnel.
fatal funnel.
Those are killers.
These terms, man.
Yeah.
These are killer terms.
And then here, right? So like, here was cool because you opened it a bit and you're like, I'm having my gun up. So that was a good job. One thing with doors, right?
Yeah.
Is normally we're right here when we open the door. So if you're on the other side and you want to shoot somebody, look, can a bullet go through here? Yes. Can I go through drywall? Yes, of course. But where they're gonna assume you are first and where they're gonna start lighting up first would be the door. So you did a cross. So all we'd want to do is we'd actually want you to aim here in case it does open, but actually get on this side of it.
Gotcha.
But other than that, you did a very good job. We do a door check, slight push in, make sure there's nothing blocking the door. Then get it all the way out of your way. Bam, bam, bam.
Oh man.
And then enter.
Perfect.
Dang.
One
Man,
of
that
the only
was-
things, well, I'd say the main thing that I saw was you were, hey, I'm going to go in this room, but you weren't committed to it, right? So you'd stand into the fatal funnel or the threshold, almost like halfway in,
People
halfway
get
out.
stuck indoors.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So pick that, say, okay, I'm taking this. And I'm going to get out of the most dangerous area, which is that threshold, and I'm going to get into the room and I'm going to take it.
Gotcha.
This is where the most people get dropped.
That's where you find that point of domination too, right?
Yep, point of domination.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You're taking the room. So once you've decided, I've collected everything I can, this is yours now.
Yeah.
And someone else might be in your room. Yeah, you're gonna go take your room.
Dang, that's crazy, man. These are things you really don't think about too.
Man, say.
You did a really good job. Like your flow was good. It was a little bit of, it got a little bit resistant here. But yeah, even like, we didn't go over doors at all.
Yeah.
And you were just,
And we really
Processing
ran
It's so funny. Even when I opened this, I was like, "Oh snap!" Like we didn't go
What do
over
we do?
doors. I was
Yeah.
like, "So yeah, what do I do?" Like,
This right here is
Yeah.
this is like a haven, bro. You know,
Man.
You know how much stuff we can get done in this place
we're
like
definitely
this.
getting dogs out
Thursday,
here. We getting dogs out here. Yeah.
My catchphrase is limitless boundaries, okay?
Hey.
Limitless boundaries.
I literally have a wristband that says limitations are man-made.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
One of my kids got it tatted on his arm.
There you go.
Sure did, man.